Hey little monsters, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually not showing you any food recipes nor lunchbox ideas. I'm actually going to be showing you how to make these colorful boards instead. And I've made these ever since Brandon was a little baby. I love being able to show how tall he was, how much he weighed for birthday boards. And then these little boards are the first and the last days of school where he just stands there and takes a pic like that. And then that way I can go back and just see how tall he was, and it's just really adorable to see. I have here the last day of school board, but you can do any kind of board you want. I'm going to show you what supplies you're going to need and what steps to take to make it as well. So just follow along. Okay, so to start, guys, I have this board. This one I made at the beginning of the school year, and I am going to be now making the last day of first grade sign. This is a board I got from Michael's. It is a foam board, but ultimately you can buy this at a craft store. And actually, if you were going to get like a larger board, like the ones I showed you in the beginning of the video that were the birthday boards, you can actually get that at the Dollar Tree for $1, which is super cheap. But I like this size because this way Brandon can just hold it up while he takes a picture of it, and it's just cuter and much smaller. But this, I did get a pack of 4, I believe, at Michael's. So this is what it's gonna kind of look like at the end, but I'm doing the last day. To start, so I have my blank board right here, and I always sketch out my design. So I do have a sketch right here, and I'm planning on making it look like this. Usually I have to kind of sketch it out because you don't want to start on the board and then mess up part way, and you have to have an idea of exactly like how things are going to fit and what pictures, what kind of like coloring you want to do. So because I've done this several times, I'm not gonna like shade in the colors or anything. I'll just do it straight after drawing on the board. Besides that, you're gonna need a pencil, an eraser, and then also these paint markers. So I have a whole bunch of paint markers here. And again, you can buy this at a craft store. Again, I got it at Michael's. They usually sell them in a set, or you can buy them individual as well. But just be careful because there's 2 kinds. So this one is a water-based one, and this one is an oil base. So typically what works best on paper is the water-based one. And sometimes I have a trouble with some of the markers, and then I have a little trick that I can show you guys if I run into that problem. But when you do go to the store, try to find the water-based ones, because if you get the oil ones, they kind of seep through the paperboard and it doesn't show up really easily. So that, make sure you get. And then that is all we need to start. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So I have my design here, and to start I have the top. So just using the pencil, I'm gonna lightly draw in the actual image itself and the entire thing. So I'm gonna slowly go, and you can totally use a ruler or do whatever, but I'm just gonna freehand this because this one is just gonna be a fun board to have at the end of the school year. The birthday boards I usually spend a lot more time in, and I plan it out. And then sometimes I use pictures from Google Images, from Pinterest, just to get ideas of like what you would typically find on these themed boards, especially the birthday ones when we have to do themes. And I'm looking at Minecraft and things that I'm just not familiar with. So I'll just get an idea from looking at some images and then just kind of use my own creativity to figure it out. All right. So I don't always draw it in as darkly as this, but I wanted to be able to show you guys what it looks like. The lighter you do it, the better, because then you're not going to really see the pencil marks after you color it in. And I also like to kind of start in the middle of the board and work my way out. That way I don't run out of space part way through, but that's just something I do. I mean, you can totally do it how you want to do it. So now that I've done the rough sketch, I can definitely see that some of the hand-drawn things that I had done are definitely not straight. Sometimes I don't really care that much, but like for example, this first grade part is definitely on an angle. So since I'm in my pencil sketch phase, I'm gonna go ahead and try to correct it now before it's too late and I end up making it really unpresentable when the marker period comes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just lightly erase it and just kind of correct it where I can. The ruler part, I probably should have used a real ruler to draw a straight line as well. So, go ahead and do that. So you won't see it as much once you start to color it in, but let's try to get rid of what we can. So that looks better. Yeah, this one's slightly off in proportion. I can either fix it or let me look here. I have 3 things here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap the favorite class since this one has 2 classes, science and art, and so there's more pictures than this architect one. So I think I'm just gonna swap it, but keep this one the same. So we're gonna do the middle first. And this is when you can get creative with your font. If you know how to write in different styles, it'll make it look nice. Switch it up a little bit, and then let's move this favorite class of architect part. So kind of ran out of space there, so I'm gonna have to, let's see, add it here. Alright, so now I'm gonna draw this little worm with a graduation hat. It's actually Brandon's design. Let me show you guys. He made a card for his teacher, and this was like his little sketch there. So I thought it was adorable. I decided to copy him and put it on his own board. So let's see. so I think everything looks pretty good. It's all nicely sketched out. Now I am going to show you guys how to start the coloring process. So I don't have anything colored in on my sketch because I'm just gonna wing it, and I have several color options here. So let me show you all of my water-based ones. And these have actually just kind of accumulated throughout the years. They hold up very well. I mean, granted, I don't really make many boards in here, but they can last for a while. You just gotta shake it up and kind of mix it. All right, so these are all my water-based ones, and then I have a whole bunch of other ones that are really, really colorful, but they're the oil-based ones. And unfortunately, like I said, they don't really write on the paper very well, so they just will seep through. So let me show you the difference here. All right, so I'll just use the back side. So this is an oil-based one. You just gotta shake it up. And when you buy a brand new pen, you actually just have to kind of do this like dotting method just to make sure that the ink fills up on the tip for it to come out. So this is what that looks like. I don't know if you can see, but it literally just goes and soaks right through. And then this is the red water-based one, and that actually shows up much better. So sometimes you see it kind of begin to seep through, and if you shade it in enough, it will stay, but if it doesn't, I actually have a trick to that, which causes more steps, but we're gonna see if that's gonna be necessary for our coloring today. All right, so back to this. So I think I'm just going to do rainbow colors, and his favorite color is orange. So I'm gonna use that on the big spots. Oh, and just to show you, the Sharpie brand, they have a fine tip one. It's extra fine tip. And then they have like a super fat one too. It says medium point, but it's pretty big. So yeah, this. So sometimes I don't know how it's gonna turn up on the board. So instead of testing it on this side, I'm gonna test it on the back side, so it's gonna wanna seize it. And this one is kind of goldish color, so I'm gonna use this for the worm. And I'm gonna outline the hat first in the white. Now I have a trick to doing the colors that I don't have. So I have, these are the colors I have. And you can see that there's really not many primary bright bold colors because they don't sell them in the water base, which is kind of annoying. But they do in the oil based ones. So we have all those pretty nice colors. So like I had showed you on the bag, if we try to use it, it's not going to stay very clear on the board. So I do want to use orange. Orange is Brandon's favorite color. And if you do that, then it tends to just go right through. So it's kind of there, but it's kind of not there. So a trick that I use is that I actually will take a white water-based one and I'll color it in first. I'm gonna do the G. Honestly, I think the markers sometimes are just like a hit or miss. Sometimes they work and show off really well and sometimes they just don't. So I don't really know the trick behind it, but this is one little hack that I figured out. It's kind of double the work though, unfortunately, but if you really want to get the colors that you're trying to aim for and you can't get that marker to show up on this backside, then you can try to use this little trick. So now that this is dried up a bit, I'm gonna go ahead and color it in with orange. So using the oil-based pen, I'm now able to color the orange in. To see how vibrant it becomes versus when I had shown you the sample on the bag and it just bled right through the board. All right, so there's the G. So sometimes I do go over and do 2 coats of it, but for now you can still see that everything is showing up really nicely. For this banner part, I think I'm just gonna alternate some colors. I'm gonna use black to draw it in, and I'm just gonna keep on going with it. So you guys can follow along. I'll speed things up, and then you'll see what it looks like towards the end, or when I have to do the second coat. All right, since I still have the red marker, I'm gonna go back and redo the number 1 just to darken it up a little bit with a second coat. All right, And then can you guys see the difference between 1 coat and 2 coat? So again, it all really just varies on your marker and the ink that comes out of it. These markers I just kind of buy a new set whenever I need to. So they may be just drying up and maybe I'm having a hard time not getting on the first round. But I showed you a couple of tricks there on how to make it work. And in the end, it's still gonna come out looking nice. All right, so this one versus that one. 2 coats, 1 coat, same marker. Guys, I think I'm pretty much done. So what I'm gonna do is, if you can see right here, you see all these pencil marks that I had this glare this morning, so I was having a really hard time actually seeing where the pencil mark lines were, and I just freehanded it. So anything that you definitely went over with freehand, you're gonna wanna erase it now so that you don't see it up close. You'll see it, but afar you don't really see it. But just go ahead and just lightly erase them, and do it lightly because you definitely don't want to take off some of the black from the poster board itself, because then you're going to see that and it's going to be kind of worse than if you were just to leave the pencil marks there. That's why when you go to sketch in the actual picture from the get-go, you don't just do it really hard, and then that way you have lighter marks to erase. All right, and here it is, all done. Super cute. Looks really great already. If anything, I might just like go over some of these just to make it a little darker, but I think it's already fine right now. So let me see. This is my original sketch, and then this is the completed product. Super cute, really easy to do. You guys saw how that was done. Doesn't take really long as you kind of have an idea in mind, and the more you make, the more fun it gets. So I have here the first day, and then I'm gonna have the last day, and then he will take a picture. And I hope you guys like this video. If you do, like and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more crafting videos, or if you want to stick to just the lunches instead. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a monsterific day. Bye.